So were you a skeptic for this stuff?
So honestly, no. How it started for me was I always believed that we were not alone in the universe. But at the time when I was younger, I was like, well, I don't work for government. I'm not anyone important up there. So I might never know. Maybe they'll keep this hidden forever and I'll never know. I don't know. So why spend the effort of looking? I'll believe, but looking, if something interesting catches my eye, I'll look at it a little bit, but I don't go full gung ho into research. Now, what's interesting was I had a very strong experience with sleep paralysis, seeing beings, mediumship stuff. And I had one really powerful dream that after the dream, I was pushed to look up near-death experiences, which was strange because I heard of them before, but I never researched them. So I decided to research them. And the more I started to discover about researching near-death experiences and consciousness, remote viewing, and all of that stuff, it brought me right back into the ET phenomenon, because essentially all of these topics actually connect to each other, which I never knew. And I was like, and this is kind of why I'm doing this now, because it's like so many people will talk about the ET stuff, whether they believe or not, whether it's cool, it's cool. Oh, the idea of it's cool, whatever. And they're like, oh, I want to see the craft, or what does the being look like? But they're not connecting the dots between consciousness. And I started finding in abduction cases going under hypnotherapy. Some people weren't even abduction cases, but they would go into hypnotherapy and they would go into a past life, or to get more information out, or to get more out of their supernatural experiences. And I found out that they were all saying the same things. And I was like, why would abductees be saying the same things that near-death experiences are saying? It was just very, and I was like, started connecting all these dots. And it's all about, the consciousness, the soul, that we don't actually die. And that's exactly what the abductees were saying, that the beings were sharing with them that we are essentially all one. They're waiting for us to gain this understanding that death is really an illusion and we're connected by something much greater than we think, that we do have a soul, or there is such a thing as a creator, source, or whatever, God, whatever you want to call it. And it's a part of everything, all that is, and that we have to understand. And apparently the ETs have this understanding that everything is alive or has consciousness, even down to a rock, that everything is based on the same structure that builds what we call existence, three-dimensional, or even in other dimensions, it's all part of the same thing. And there's this universal connection. So that's when it really started to solidify for me. And that's when I started researching more into the UFO phenomenon, connecting more dots and stuff like that, going back to movies that I watched and thought, oh, that's cool, that's interesting. I rewatched Dr. Greer's documentary, and they made way more sense with this knowledge of near-death experiences and the abductee cases, explaining about consciousness, past life regression, hypnotherapy. So that's what happened to me. And it may sound like a big rabbit hole, but it makes sense the more you go into it.